Guys, Ryan Bidoff here, blogging from paradise. We're just diving into some of my more wild travel stories. These are interesting events that occurred during my current 7-year world tour. And today we're going to talk about a very interesting experience. There's a great deal of intrigue surrounding it. As the kiddies come into the room, they love when I'm doing these. I'm back in New Jersey just for a little bit, heading off to Oman very soon, actually in 2 days. These monkeys in the jungles around Bribri, Costa Rica. Unbelievable experience, guys. We did a house sit, you guys may remember, deep in the jungle. And if you didn't, well, doesn't even matter, a couple years ago. And one of the more fascinating aspects of this house sit was the fact that since it was 3 miles into the jungle, away from human beings, save one neighbor, really remote jungle. We're talking off the beaten path, off the grid, no electricity, outhouse, the whole deal. We're talking really, really out there. So since it was so remote, the monkeys, you had your Howlers, you had your Capuchins. The Capuchins are the ones that were a little naughty and led me to this experience that we're going to share today. These guys, since they were so unused to seeing people, especially the Capuchin monkeys, the white-faced ones you may have seen on TV or in movies, they used to be trained, and now I know it's probably all digital, right? All these little creatures. They viewed humans as being foreign, as threats. Guys, most of Costa Rica, especially the tourist areas, the monkeys are very used to being around people. Not so much that they're actually trained, although in some cases they almost are, with acquiring bananas and all that good stuff, like with us in Capos. But they're just used to being around people, so people don't wig them out. But when we were walking through the jungle in Costa Rica one day, and it was 3 hours in, 3 hours out, a hike through Indiana Jones-worthy adventure type stuff. Unbelievable. Absolutely eye-popping experience. I saw toucans, I saw 2 toad sloths, 3 toad sloths, bullet ants were a dime a dozen, poison dart frogs a dime a dozen. I mean, I didn't see them, but you had the notorious fer-de-lances, the most aggressive venomous snake on earth, eyelash vipers, unbelievable wildlife. Amazon parrots, I saw mealy Amazons, different types of exotic snakes, just incredible experience. But one day when I was walking through the jungle, we were walking up a huge slope. It's about a mile high jungle mountain with a grade of, in some areas, I swear, 35%. Intense. We're talking the real deal, guys. Landslides at times. One day it rained for 3 days straight, on and off torrential downpours. Sometimes the monkeys would throw sticks at us because we were viewed as a threat, because we're human, and they're like, whoa, we're not used to seeing people. That shows you how remote the place was, guys. And then one other time I was walking under the canopy, and I heard thrashing up top, and they were really making a big to-do about it. You know, these stupid humans down there, and it's our territory, and they really felt off. Because in other areas, guys, not the monkeys would climb towards you or move towards you, but they just weren't disturbed. They weren't afraid because they're used to seeing people. This was not a tourist area. It was a house sit in a remote jungle on the Caribbean side, which is not, super touristed, especially considering the Pacific side is big time touristed. You have tourists everywhere, but they're just so unused to seeing people that they get really upset. So I was walking under this jungle canopy, and I noticed, okay, the place is very humid, but I'm hearing thrashing up top. Proverbial gnashing of teeth, and some branches being thrown around, and they were agitated. They weren't happy that we were there, these weird human thingies that they weren't used to being around. So I'm hiking into town, and I'm walking under this big, thick, imagine these 150-foot tall, dense trees, and just vines coming down. I mean, real thick. I had to walk out with the machete and cut a path through some of these places. And some days we're talking an inch a day. An inch to an inch and a half of vegetation growth every day. I actually measured it. It was insanely humid, but I felt a little gentle, fine mist cascading out of the canopy. And it smelled a little weird. And I'm thinking, okay, you get your fog from time to time. The air is so thick, the humidity levels are so high. I mean, I had to throw out my computer. I had to throw out I put it in six. I put it collectively. My Android pad. What was it? A pad or whatever you call it. And my computer, each were in 3 separate Ziploc plastic bags. Both were ruined. So the humidity level was that high. But as I'm under this tree and I'm seeing the thrashing up top and then I'm feeling more and more moisture, I realized that these Capuchin monkeys were pee-peeing on me. They were urinating on me. And it was just one of the most hilarious, mildly disgusting, but I found it hysterical because that was one of their signs to get the heck out of here. They pee on you. They urinate. They used this boy as a toilet. I was a monkey toilet. So I slowly and casually pulled back from this encounter because I didn't want to be pee-peed on by a monkey. It already happened. It was done. But it was just another exotic experience from the Blogging Paradise guy in remote jungles around Bribri, Costa Rica. They were thrashing. They'd throw sticks. Almost reminded me of a Bigfoot encounter. You know, a lot of the same activity. But these guys, gentle, fine mist. And it only happened once, but it was cascading on my dome, and I felt it, and I said, this isn't, is it really? But when you look up and you realize that these guys, in fact, view humans in that region of Costa Rica as being not even so much threats, but just being like an alien presence. It's not like other areas. You had to be in at 5:30 every day because by, a little after 6 o'clock, you couldn't see the hand in front of your face without the candle. We had candles at the quote-unquote hut, quote-unquote / haha shack. So when you move into places like this and we were there for 6 weeks, a month and a half, you're going to encounter animals that aren't used to encountering you. And that's one of the things that really flipped me out about the monkeys, because everywhere we'd been in Costa Rica, around the world, but especially Costa Rica, they were very calm. They would come out. They wouldn't always, come up to your front porch, but they weren't disturbed by you because they were used to being around people. They would come out of the jungle, come into tourist areas, and you're talking Manuel Antonio, and it was no problem. But here, forget about it. And again, it was the thrashing. The first couple of times, I'm like, they're really agitated at our presence. But when I was walking into town, just under the canopy, looking up, and it was that fine mist, and it was a little thicker and a little thicker, and I'm like, wait a second, this isn't just vegetation or a patch of fog moving through. You'd get these little pockets because it was so incredibly humid. You felt like you could wring the air and water would just be the byproduct, like wringing a paper towel, or wringing a towel, I should say, wringing a paper towel. But sure enough, it was the monkey pee-peeing on me, and they looked down, and I got the hint, and I moved along. And that's it for this story, because the urinating did not go on for too long. It was just a few moments of pee-pee, and I let Kelly know, and I'm like, that was really stronger than it wasn't a heavy stream. It was more a mist at that point, but between the smell and the heaviness of it, I understood that they, in fact, pee-peed on me, and that was that, and I was a monkey toilet. Guys, very, very interesting journey. I might delve into the house sit for a longer chat, a longer story, because it was amazing. It was 6 weeks, 3 miles in and out of town. We stayed in the jungle Saturday afternoon until Friday morning. And then Friday morning we'd go into town to buy provisions for the week at the grocery store. And we'd also spend a day in civilization, which was like a remote outpost. But you had your restaurant, you had a little pizza. If you went to Puerto Viejo, but we skipped on that because the town wasn't really our speed. So then the last 2 weeks we were there, we'd just go into Bribri, go into this little Tico spot. No expats here, all Ticos, all Costa Ricans. Do some shopping, relax, get some good sleep where you don't have to be in a mosquito net and have things slamming on the roof and having these huge jungle opossum going on, walking on your sink. We'll get into that for another one. That could be a nice long one, I think, maybe at least a half hour, 20 minutes. We'll see. But yeah, it was a really, really interesting experience. It was fun. It was enlightening. And now I know what it feels like, I should say, to be peed on by a monkey who really wasn't too appreciative of my presence. A Monkey Toilet, the Blogging from Paradise guy. If you want to become a full-time blogger, you could purchase my ebook at bloggingfromparadise.com/ebook. That's how to retire to a life of island hopping through smart blogging. And if you query it on Amazon, you can get the paperback version. Ebook on sales and also available, of course, through bloggingfromparadise.com. And paperback on Amazon. Until next time, you guys know what to do. If you really enjoyed this video, by the way, leave me a comment. And be sure to share it too on social media. You can share it with your list. Share it with your friends. Get it out there. You can mention it on your blog. These are fun, entertaining stories where I'm going to go over some of the wild stuff that's happened. I believe we're 3 stories in now we've covered so far. My India experience, almost dying. Maybe it wasn't as fun. Fascinating on some level. I think so. From Giardia, and then the really wicked motorbike accident in Bali. So this is story number 3. I'll label them. We'll see. We'll think about it. But we're diving in, and I'll keep churning them out because I'm having so much fun. So until next time, guys, you know what to do. Enjoy paradise, everybody.